happy Saturday to you. I hope everybody's doing great tonight. I am doing okay. I'm doing better. Let's just say that I'm doing better. So, tonight is going to be, unfortunately, a wine free night for me because I am still on antibiotics for my bladder infection. So I will be enjoying a fresh, delicious Diet Coke, which is my treat because today I am finally feeling better. It has been a struggle. It has been a long one. It's been horrible. I feel like it's been like almost 2 weeks now that I've been dealing with this, and I am just over it. So over it. So over it. So, you guys, summer, it's here. It is officially summer. It's feeling like summer. It's looking like summer. It's awesome. I'm so excited. Nate had his last day of school on Thursday, so summer fun has begun in the Howie household. Sorry I missed you guys last weekend. We had a graduation party we had to go to. And I've got stories to tell about that. I thought that we might be home soon enough that I would still be able to go live. But we had, let's just say, I'll tell you the story in a few minutes. But let's just say there was a hospital trip involved. So, yeah, there was an emergency room trip involved. You know, with my family, nothing can ever go smoothly. There's always got to be some kind of big catastrophe or drama or something. But yeah, let me just take a second and say hi to everybody that's here. Dawn's here. Hi, Dawn. Diamond Heart, which is anonymous, is cool. You changed your name. Cool. I like Diamond Heart. That's cute. Hi, Muttnut. And Catherine. Judy's here. Hi, Jennifer and Kathy and Margaret. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Sue. I just talked to Sue a little while ago. We had a nice chat. It was nice to catch up with her. And Linda's here, and Jody, hi. And did I say hi to Joe? Hi, Joe. How you doing? You got the day off again? Or are you just out already? Because I know you had yesterday off, too. You were able to join us on our crochet live. I'm feeling a lot better than I did yesterday. It's hard to believe that was only yesterday. And I'm feeling so much better. I'm feeling so much better. But it's weird because, you know, when you have a bladder infection, you're supposed to just drink water, right? And you know, soda's not really good for it. So I was trying to lay off the Diet Coke. And it's hard for me because I'm a caffeine, I might as well say it, I think I'm a caffeine addict because I didn't drink pop all week, and man, every day I just had the worst headache from the caffeine withdrawals, I think. So today is my first, I'm celebrating with you guys tonight by having a Diet Coke. And I am super shaky. My hands are shaky. And I think it's because I'm all hopped up on caffeine and I'm not used to it anymore. It's funny how your body can get rid of stuff. You know what I mean? Or get used to things or get rid of things so easily. But yes, I am feeling better, thank goodness, because that was yucky. It was not fun at all, and we got the retreat coming up. I got to be on my best game for that. Got a lot of work to do, a lot of fun to have. I'm hoping that I'll be able to go live from the retreat, but I might have to do it at not my regular time. I'm in charge of activities for the retreat, so in the evenings, we're going to do some fun things. We've got some fun activities planned. So I'm thinking that might fall right around, you know, the same time as my live. So I might have to do something a little bit different and get creative. But hey, if you guys can join me, you can join me. If not, I understand. I completely understand. And I know with it getting to be summertime, you know, heck, it's still light out here. It's crazy. You know, the sun hasn't even set yet. I'm looking out my window, and my window points towards the west, and there's a beautiful sun setting it over the woods next to my room. It just looks so pretty. But it is finally going to rain. It's going to start raining late tonight, and it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. And my goodness, do we ever need it? We are just, and I know everybody is like this, but we are just in horrible drought conditions. Jeff's pretty upset because he likes to forge on Saturday nights. But with the grass being so dry and everything, he doesn't even want to fire the forge up just in case something sparks when they're hammering and, you know, start the grass on fire. It's that dry. So he's kind of bummed tonight because usually when I go live on Saturdays, him and Nate forge and work on their knives. They've really come a long way. They're doing really, really good stuff with their forge. It's crazy to look at the first things that they kind of built and or forged, whatever, and what they're doing now. I mean, they've really, really improved their skills. Yeah, Jody, it is a pretty darn sparkly diamond painting. Yep. Hi, Sean, how are you? And Lizzie, how are you? Hello, Anita. Is it going to rain there too, Joe? I think it's going to be, you'll believe it when you see it, right? I know, it got cloudy earlier. Jeff was cooking on the grill. He made us, you know, I have the best husband in the world, and I know I tell you guys this all the time, but I really, really do. He's such a great guy. He takes such good care of us. He made us, and he was out at that grill all day today. He cooked like a slow cook of a pork tenderloin. And then he also did some chicken leg quarters, and they were just amazing. They were absolutely amazing. And then he did some asparagus on the grill too. Just a delicious dinner. It was really nice. But as he was getting towards the end of cooking, it was starting to cloud up and look like it could, you know, it could possibly rain. But now the sun's back out, so I don't know what it's doing. I don't know what it is doing. But yeah, we definitely need it. I gotta tell you guys a funny story. So we're out there. I was talking to him while he was out at the grill. And I was like, did you water the garden today? He's like, no. I was like, did you water my flowers? He's like, no. Probably should water the flowers though, because the flowers are in pots. So they dry out a lot faster than the garden, you know, which is in the ground. So the hose was out at the garden. So I dragged the garden hose over by my flower bed, and I laid it down on the concrete patio, and I went and I turned the hose on. Well, our sprayer is broken, and it doesn't like turn off when you release the spray clamp. And so as soon as I turned the water on, the hose started spraying, and it like pushed itself kind of under the patio table. So I walk over there and I pull out the chair to the patio table to get the to grab the hose, and I'm going to grab it sideways, you know, so it's pointing away from me. Well, as I do that, the leg of the chair caught on the hose, flipped it up, and I was like drenching. It squirted it right at me. I was drenching myself, and I was so stupid. All I did was stand there and scream. I didn't even do anything about it. I just stood there screaming until Jeff finally grabbed the hose and got it off of me, but I was soaking wet. So I ended up taking an evening shower today. I'm usually a morning shower person. Are you guys morning shower? That's a good question. Are you guys morning shower people or evening shower people? I'm usually a morning shower person. But that being said, I had an evening shower today. Well, I had two showers, one by the hose, but then I came in and took a shower. And I gotta say, I enjoyed it. It was very relaxing, and I think I'm gonna do more nighttime showers. I think I like nighttime showers. Selena, you like nighttime? Everybody else, more afternoon shower, Jennifer. That I've never taken. I don't know that I've ever taken an afternoon shower. Unless I have like an appointment or something. So, you know, or something to get ready for, which doesn't happen very often. So yeah, so last Saturday we went to the graduation party. So let me give you the context. The graduation party we went to, now you guys know that my family's kind of all kinds of screwed up. I still get along with my ex, and I get along with his family, and his sister and I have remained friends over the years, and they have kids. Her and her husband have kids around the same age as Nate. Their one son is about 6 months older than Nate, and their other son is 4 years older than Nate. So it was his graduation party. So we go out to their house, and it was a fine party. There was good food. We were having a great time, and we were just, you know, eating and having some root beers and playing cornhole. Me and Emily played. It was really nice because Emily was there with her boyfriend, and I don't often get to spend time with her, so it was really nice to hang out and spend some time with her. Well, Emily, when she was young, she played travel soccer, and she was very, very fast. In fact, her coach called her Wheels, was her nickname on the team, because she played defense and she could like move up the field, but then if the ball came back towards the goal, she could run so fast and make it back to the goal to block, you know, to block the goal. So she decides in her wisdom, now Emily's almost 29, she'll be 29 this year. She decides that she wants to have a foot race with her cousin Cam, whose graduation party it is, who's obviously 18, and was a football player. So she decides that she is still fast and she can beat Cam, right? So they're going to have a foot race. So Emily's wearing a dress. Okay, you know where this is not going to end well. So Emily's wearing a dress and sandals, but she can't race in sandals, so she takes her sandals off and she's going to race barefooted. So they line up, and you know, we're all watching and laughing and whatever, and they take off, and Emily doesn't make it but halfway of, you know, what they've designated their finish line to be, and she just tumbles ass over tea kettle, just rolls across the yard, and she's got her knees all skinned up and her dress is up over her, you know, her dress came up. Luckily she was wearing like bike shorts underneath her dress, so you know there was no inappropriateness going on, but it was so funny. It was so funny, and she wasn't even close to as fast as she used to be, and Cameron definitely beat her. Definitely he won the race. So they got done racing, and so then her dad says, Emily, I want to race you. Let's see if I can still beat you. So at this point, I had to go to the bathroom. So I excused myself and I went to go to use the restroom. And I come back out, not, you know, as long as it takes to go to the restroom, not very much long later. And her dad is hobbling up to the back deck and says, I broke my toe. I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, you know how people exaggerate, you know, when, you know what I mean? You say something, but you don't mean it literally. You kind of mean it like, it's kind of an exaggeration. So I'm thinking he stubbed his toe, right? So then I keep walking, and because Emily was looking very upset, and Emily's like, Mom, I'm going to puke. I'm like, you're going to puke? Why? Did you see Dad's toe? I'm like, I didn't look at it. So I turn around and I go back to the deck. His toe was, the end of his big toe was hanging down, and his bone was sticking straight out of his, where it was like his toe was like this and the bone was sticking out. It was so gross. It was so gross. And then I did the most disgusting thing that I've ever done in my life. So his sister comes over and she's like, that's not bone. That's not his bone. That's skin hanging there. That's not bone. So what do? I reached down and touched it. What the hell was I thinking? I don't know what in the world possessed me to do that, but I reached down and I'm like, nope, that's his bone. So off to the hospital he goes, and he ended up having to have surgery to repair it. But of course, they couldn't do it that night because he had been having some root beers. So he had to wait until the next day to have his toe operated on. And it's always something. And it was at that point that I said, I think this is probably a good time for us to go home. Jeff was starting to have a really good time playing cornhole and stuff, but I was like, no, we better call it a night before any other shenanigans go down. So we ended up getting home about, 9:30. And Maddie had stayed here while we were gone with Nate and the dogs. And so we just hung out for the rest of the night and watched a movie together. And it was nice. It was nice. It was the first time that I have gone to a party or anything social like that in a year. I mean, it's been a really long time. I went to the retreat, I guess, last October, but that was right after my surgery, and I was feeling so terrible. I wasn't any fun at all. I wasn't any fun for anyone, including myself. But that was like, and it was also the first time I was feeling really nervous to eat in front of all those people with my dentures in. And so I'm thinking that Jeff and I can just grab a plate and kind of hide in the corner or whatever. Oh, no, 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 no. The whole family had to come and sit down with us while we were eating and talk to us and stuff. And so I was really self-conscious about that, but it went well. It went okay. I got it in. I got it done. Here, hold my beer, kind of. Yes, Sean, exactly. Hold my beer. Yep, that's exactly the kind of graduation party it was. For sure. For sure. And Jeff had just enough root beers that he's a very serious cornhole player. He's very serious when it comes to anything competitive. Um, if he's going to do something, he's going to really, really practice it and strive for perfection. He was that way when he golfed. When he was golfing, he would golf every day. He didn't always go to the course and golf, and we have such a big enough lot that he would hit balls in the yard every single day. And he went to the golf course probably 3-4 days a week. But after Nate was born, he kind of gave up golf. But then he got into cornhole. And he started making boards. He was making boards for a little while, but he was such a perfectionist that he couldn't really sell them for like what he had into them because he worked so long on them and so hard. So he's kind of just started doing it. We gave them as gifts to like dads and brothers and stuff like that. So now in the girls, he made the girls each a set of cornhole boards with their college logos on them. Because they both went to different colleges, so they have those. He's gonna have to make Nate a set when Nate goes. So I hope he doesn't lose his skills. But he got really, really good at cornhole, and it's funny because if he plays with me, he doesn't really have to try very hard because I really am very, very bad at it. But he can rise to the occasion. Like if someone else good comes along, he'll step up. He can step up his game like instantly and be better than they are. So he had some good competition come in, and he was really starting to have a good time when I decided it was time to call it a night. But we had a good time. It was nice to get out of the house. And then I got a bladder infection. Probably because I had a few root beers. If I'm, that's probably what did it, because that can sometimes set me off. I have a bladder disease, and I have a very sensitive system, and I'm very susceptible to bladder infections. So that just the smallest thing can set me off. So it was probably that. Yes, Kaden, I have the lame pen tonight. I was thinking about that as I was sitting here diamond painting before I came on. I was like, well, if Caden comes tonight, he's going to rag on me because of my pen. Caden hates my pen. But Enablers Outpost is coming to the retreat, and they put a thing on Facebook, in the Facebook group, that if we had any special requests for, any certain thing that we were looking for in the way of pens, to let them know. So I am going to ask for some thin pens. I'm going to ask them to bring some thin pens, and hopefully I can get at least 1 or 2 new thin pens, so poor Caden doesn't have to look at my ugly pen. But this one is the one that's so comfortable for me. If I had a prettier one that was shaped just like this one, I would be so happy. One of these days. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. Hey, Berta, how you doing? And Paula. Hi, Paula. Yeah, I need a cooler pen. Hi, Risa. Oh, hi, Lisa. Lisa's here too, and Mary Lou. Hello. Oh, Lisa, you were listening to a podcast. What was it? A good one? Was it a true crime one? What kind of podcast were you listening to? Just out of curiosity. I don't do podcasts. Maddie listens to a lot of podcasts. I'm not a podcast girl. When I'm sitting in here, I have a TV in here, and I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos while I was sitting in here diamond painting. I'm in my craft room tonight, and then I started piling yarn on my shelf in front of my television. So now my screen is covered with, there's yarn in front of it, so I can't even see the TV anymore. But my favorite thing to do while I'm in here diamond painting is to rock out. I come in here, I turn the radio on, not the radio, I turn on Pandora. Which, tell me, you guys, what you think of this. Maddie says that nobody uses Pandora anymore. Everybody uses Spotify. That I'm like so out of it that I still use Pandora. I like Pandora. Pandora's always been good to me. And I have this channel that I have curated for so long that it has the best songs that just never quit. Like, I can listen to that thing for hours and hours and hours and hear all these great songs, and it makes me so happy to sit here and listen to music. So that's what I usually do when I'm working in my craft room, is listen to music. I enjoy that. I enjoy it a lot, because when I used to do my rock tumbling and polishing and my rock candles and stuff, I had to do that in the garage because of the odors that were involved. And so I always listened to music while I did that. And when I was at work, when I was still working, I always had a radio on in my office. And so I was always listening to music. Music's always been a really important part of my life. Well, since I'm not working anymore and I'm at home all the time, I find that I miss my music. I don't listen to it as often, and I really miss it. So it's nice to come in here and just turn the music on and just chill out and relax. Amazon Music, Catherine. Okay, all right. Yeah, Joe, I hear you on audiobooks. I don't know about audiobooks either. Audiobooks, I don't know. Here's how I feel about audiobooks. When I read a book, I kind of invent the sound and look of the characters in my mind. And I don't want to be influenced by somebody else's voice. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want somebody's voice to like govern what my creative imagination is going to think that they look like or act like or sound like. Does that make any sense? So yeah, I'd rather read the book. In fact, I read the best book, you guys. Now, I haven't read a book in a long time. I used to be an avid reader when I was younger. Then, I had kids and jobs and school and all that stuff, and I just kind of fell out of it. And then of course I started crafting, and that kind of took over my world. And like I said, I don't like audiobooks. That wasn't really an option for me. So I haven't read in a long time. Well, Maddie came over to swim. This must have been 2 weeks ago, and she brought a new book that she had just gotten. And she left it here. So I picked it up and I read the back cover, and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. And so I started reading it. You guys, I stayed up all night that night reading that book. I'm telling you, I was 370 pages in by morning. It was such a good book. I could not put it down. I read it in like 3 days. It was called, oh my gosh, what was it called? Demon Copperhead. Demon Copperhead. So if you're looking for a good book, it was a good book. Now, if you're sensitive to triggers, like there was some, he was born to an addicted. This kid was born to an addict, and there's a lot of that kind of, there's a lot of like addiction issues that go on in the book. So if that's a trigger for you, that might not be up your alley. But it was just such a great book about family and about how basically at the end of it all, and I firmly believe this, your family isn't always blood. Some of the people who love me in my life or who are important in my life are no blood relation to me, but I couldn't love them more if they were. Do you know what I mean? They're that important to me that they feel like family. And I think that blood doesn't always define family. And I found that to be true, especially like with my husband, with having stepdaughters. My daughters are not his, but he treats them and loves them just the same as he loves our son, who is his. So I think that, and that was kind of the underlying message of the book, is you kind of create your own family. But it was a very good book. So if you're in the market for a good summer read, it was a fast read, and it was phenomenal. I think it was like one of Oprah's book club books or something. Oh, Lisa's making a new bracelet. That's cool. Jody uses Spotify. Judy, you listen to Pandora every night. See? Yeah, I'm old too. Kaden, you're praying that I don't get eaten by the monster in my craft room. I often wonder that. Like, there could be animals living in here. This place is a madhouse. It's nuts. Hi, Yvonne. How are you? Oh, I know, Yvonne. So many holders, right? This one has, I think, I was trying to remember. This is my Diamond Painting Deutschland Josephine Wall, The Three Graces. And let me see if I can move this up so you guys can see where I'm at. I'm about, I don't want to send my drills off the table, but that's about where I'm at with it. And so I'm just starting to do the first Grace's face here. I got her lips and her nose and her chin done. So really, I'm just getting into the the actual picture. It's just starting to come together. I got a couple of birds down here and a tree down here and some, I don't even know what that is right there. But I think this either has 230 colors or 250. I can't remember. I could count them, but I don't want to sit here and make you guys count. Yeah, Caden uses Spotify. Younger people, I think, all use Spotify. I think that's probably, yes, Demon Copperhead, Risa. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, Jody, exactly. Reading a book is like TV. You visualize it, you get this picture of what they look like, what they sound like. And with the audiobook, that kind of takes a little bit out of that for you. And then I don't know, I've never listened to an audiobook, so you guys would have to tell me. So when there's dialogue, do different readers read the voices of the different characters, or is it one person who reads the dialogue of all the characters? And if so, does that ever get confusing? Like, you know what I mean? Is it hard to because in a book it doesn't always say Joe said this, Angie said this. Sometimes it just goes back and forth without saying who said it, but from the context of the conversation. But in an audiobook, would that be hard to pick up? I don't know. I'm just asking because I honestly don't know. I do not know. Yeah, I can't switch away from Pandora at this point. Like I said, I've got my channels so fine-tuned to play just awesome music. It's the channel that it is a preset channel. It's 60s, 70s, and 80s. But I've, thumbsed up and thumbsed down so much that now it sometimes it'll surprise me and throw something in there that I'm like, what is that? But sometimes it's a good surprise. Like they've been throwing in some disco and some like 70s funk. And so that's been kind of fun to hear those old songs that I haven't heard in a really long time. Got to hear Play That Funky Music, White Boy, earlier. I loved that song when I was little. I didn't know what they were saying, so my mom says that I always used to say, play that funky music, wah wah. So that was my song when I was little. One person, the same person does it, huh? Yeah, and they kind of change their voice. Okay, all right. Yeah, Sherry, and that would be nice because sometimes, yeah, it would be nice to, you know, I'm sure I'm missing out on a lot of culture and learning. Another thing though is when I read, I kind of gravitate towards nonfiction a lot of times. I enjoy like I'm gonna sound like such a dork, but I enjoy like biographies of historical figures or like just historical I like historical books. For a while I was really, really into World War II, and I read everything about that. For a really long time, in fact, I considered going to school for it. I was really, really into religion, not not as a religious person, but into knowing about all religions. I was like religious history basically, and knowing how they were different religions came to be, and that kind of thing, and the basis for them and their tenets and beliefs and stuff like that. I've learned a lot about religion. I was big into that for a really long time. I think because I was trying to like, religion for me when we were growing up, my parents were not religious. My mother was not religious. My dad was. And so when I went to my dad's house, we went to church every Sunday. We went to Catholic church every Sunday. And so I was, confirmed in all that stuff in the Catholic church and stuff. But, like any kid, you kind of, you wonder and you have questions about the meaning of life and, big important things. And so I just started researching and I was so fascinated, by the way, what's really fascinating to me is the major religions is how connected they are, to one another. That's really interesting to me. But speaking of big meaning of life questions, I tell you guys, sometimes my mind, I have been waiting all day to talk to you guys about this. Okay. Oh, wait, what's Paula got to say? Paula said, I listened to a book while driving on vacation, went past my exit. That was before maps on a phone. So I had to figure out where to go on a map. Oh, no. Yeah, Sue, I'm super deep tonight. I'm super deep. Yep. Okay, I got to go back to my burning question that I've had for you guys all day. But first, I got to tell you why I'm so deep. I am not an emotional person. I'm not a crier. I'm not a hugger. I'm not a very emotional person. But, I was watching Hulu and I was rewatching Jersey Shore Family Vacation. Okay? Which is the Jersey Shore characters like 10 years later after they've become supposedly responsible adults, but they still act a fool. And it was really getting on my nerves because it was just all drinking and partying and fighting and making up, and that's all it was about. So I was super bored with that. So I was on Hulu and they had the recommended for you or suggested for you or whatever. And one of the shows on there was a show called This Is Us. Has anybody watched the show This Is Us? Let me tell you, I started watching this show and I am hooked. I am absolutely riveted by this show. But I had to turn it off today because it has me so all up in my feelings. Like, I am so emotionally wrecked about this show. It is a very, very, it's a tearjerker. There's just so much that happens. And so I'm so invested. And like, they keep hinting at that in the next episode, you're going to find out how one of the characters died. But I've been waiting for it for like 4 episodes and they still haven't told it. And I'm just like, come on, get on with it already. I just want to know how he died. And it just keeps going on and on and on. But it's a really good show. Catherine, that's your favorite show? It is good. It's very good. Jennifer, you like it too? Yeah, Dawn, it is great. You should check it out. It's really good. I'm into it. I'm into it. And I don't know, how long has it been out? Because aren't there several seasons, did I see? That there's more than one season to it. I think I'm in season 1, but I think I'm on episode 20 or some. So that tells you what I've been doing. With having this bladder infection, I have come in here and diamond painted for the past 3 nights, but other than that, I have not been doing anything. When I was sitting out in the living room in my chair, I've been doing nothing but watch TV, and sitting like a slug, which you guys know, I never do that. I'm never not crafting. If I'm awake, I'm crafting. Even Jeff this morning, he was like, you're really sick, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, I've been telling you that. And he's like, I can tell you're not even crafting. He's like, you need to get better. You're freaking me out. You're not even crafting. I know. But I've been in a super crochet funk. I just can't. I just can't get into a project. And I think the problem is I've got like 3 blankets going. And it's too hot right now to work on a blanket because it's not hot enough outside for us to have our air conditioning on, but it's warm enough that it's uncomfortable to crochet a blanket on your lap, you know. So I think that I need to find like a cute little summer top or something, and work on something small and lightweight, because I have been in a serious crochet funk and I need to get back to it. I did work a little bit on, I'm making these, it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to show you guys. You make little 3x3 pouches, and then you stuff them with polyfill and sew them up, and then sew them together, and I'm using all different colors, and then it looks like a patchwork quilt kind of, because you sew it so that they're puffy, on top. It's really, really cute. So, but I've made about 200 of these 3x3 squares, and I think I figured out that I need almost 300 of the squares. So I've still got a ways to go. So I did make a few squares because I figured that was small and it was something I could do, and just do up quick. Oh, Jennifer, you liked the ending? Oh, it's good to know. Good to know. Oh, 5 or 6 seasons, Sean? Man, I'm going to be here for a long time because I'm already on episode 20 of the first season, and I feel like I've been watching it forever. Wow, that's crazy. I can't imagine what's going to happen. That's nuts. I don't know if I have enough emotional fortitude to make it for 5 or 6 seasons. And then of course Sue and hi Mindy. Sue and Mindy both know that when I watch a series, if I get attached to that series, I will not finish it. I will never watch the final episode, because if I do, then it's over, and I feel like I've lost good friends. So I don't want to lose my good friends. So if I never watch the last episode, then my good friends are still there. And I've done that for years and years and years. I don't like when things end at all. And I don't like things to change. So yeah, if I'm watching a series, I will very, very rarely watch the last episode. I do watch the ends of movies, though. I do watch the ends of movies. Speaking of movies, have you guys been to any movies lately? Nate and I and Maddie went to see the new Guardians of the Galaxy. I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt, yeah. I love my husband to death, but Chris Pratt, he does it for me. He is so darn cute. He's super cute. And he's so funny, and I love him in that movie. That series. But we went to see the new Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was fun. I loved it. It was hilarious. But it kind of left it to where it doesn't seem like there could be another one, which was kind of disappointing. Lisa, you don't go to theaters? I used to not go to theaters because the theater seats hurt my back and my hips. But we have this theater near us that has recliners. It's so awesome. Leather recliners, and you take your blanket and take your shoes off. It's really nice. It's really fun. And they actually have a full bar. And they make wood-fired pizza. It's a pretty nice movie theater. It's a pretty nice theater, but yeah. Oh, so my burning question. I was laying awake last night. I couldn't sleep because this was my burning question. Okay. A mule. Oh, Mindy might know the answer to this. A mule is the product of the breeding of a horse and a donkey. Correct? I believe that's correct. Horses and donkeys are different species, correct? If that's the case and they can breed and have offspring, because you know mules can't reproduce with one another. A horse and a donkey make a mule, but a mule and a mule can't have another mule. If that's the case, are there any other species that can interbreed like that in the world? That's my question to everybody. What do you know about horsies, donkeys, and mules? Yes, Risa, Chris Pratt is the whatever. Oh, Sherry, you're afraid of bed bugs. Oh, from the recliner chairs. They're leather, and they clean. This is a very clean place. They clean it, and it's in a really good area. We have to drive about 25 minutes to get to it, but it is so worth it. It's the only theater I'll go to. And they have the best popcorn. Because you got to have popcorn. And I got to have popcorn. I wore my teeth. I got to eat popcorn for the first time in months. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. And we were the only ones in the theater that day because we went at like an odd time. We went at like 4 o'clock or something like that. So we had the whole theater to ourselves and it was fun. We had a good time. We had a really good time. Jennifer, you're going to see Transformers. Fun. Fun. Have you ever been to Universal where they have the Transformers that come out in, I mean, I don't, they're people in costumes, but the costumes are 10 feet tall and they're very like robotic, very mechanized. I don't know how they do it. I really don't know how they do it. They're really cool. But the Transformers ride is really fun too at Universal. Lions, sun, tigers, horses, and zebras. So nobody knows the question. Nobody can answer my question. I could probably do some internet searching, I'm sure. But that's what I was lying in bed thinking about last night. I'm like, I'm going to ask everybody, are there any other species that can interbreed? Oh, Sean is answering me. Okay, lions and tigers and horses and zebras. Okay. Lions and tigers can interbreed? I did not know that. Now, what about any other big cat? What about like panthers or pumas or mountain lions? Well, a mountain lion is is a mountain lion a lion? I mean, it's called a lion, I would assume. Ligers. So within the larger group, say cats can. Okay, cats can interbreed. All right. And do they? I mean, do they do that? Or is that something that we as people kind of forced onto them? Like, was the first mule like a product of a horse looking at a donkey and saying, hey, baby, what's up? Or was the first mule the product of a man being like, I wonder what would happen if them two got together? You know? How did we come about these mules in the first place? The things I think of, you know, all the big questions in life, all the big questions. Yep. I'm on a deep dive tonight, guys. Deep dive. So, Mindy, we missed you tonight, but I'm glad that you're here. I hope everything is good. And we are going to get together, Mindy and I are going to get together and finish up our retreat business this week coming up. So excited for that. it's just a really exciting time right now with summer being here. And you know what I think we're going to do this year, you guys? You know, I talked to you a couple weeks ago and told you that we were thinking of selling our camper because we haven't camped in the past 2 years. Well, we've done a complete 180 on that idea. And we're going to do something like the exact opposite of that. After I get back from the retreat and after the 4th of July holiday, we are going to get a month-long campsite. And Nate and I used to do this when Nate was younger. It's a campground that is only about a half hour away, and it's near my mom's house, which is nice because she can come and visit, or I can go visit her, or I can go do laundry there or whatever. I mean, I could come home and go do laundry. It's only, you know, like I said, it's only a half hour away. And then Jeff can come out if he wants to. He could come out in the evening, but he didn't used to come out every night when we would do it before. But he would come out definitely on the weekends. But I think we're going to get a monthly campsite from, you know, mid-July to mid-August. So that'll be fun. I will be able to do my lives from my campsite. Won't that be a blast? I think that'll be really fun. I can have you guys at the camp. We can all camp together in diamond paint. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. We haven't, like I said, we haven't camped in 2 years, and I'm ready. I'm ready to get back out there. I don't think Nate is very excited about it. He's, you know, 14 and a half, and to ask him to be away from his gaming is like sentencing him to death. So I don't think he's too excited about it. I'm not sure how much he'll actually hang out with me there. And I'm not going to force him. I mean, I will make him sometimes go with me, but I'm not going to force him to stay the entire month. But I'll probably have my granddaughters come out and spend some time with me. And then my nephews come to town over the 4th of July holiday, and sometimes they stay a little longer. Of course, they're getting older now. They've got jobs, so I don't know if they'll be able to hang out like they used to. But at one point, we did it. We used to do it, and at one point, I had my 2 nieces from my sister's daughters, and I had Nate, and I had my nephew, my other sister's son, and then I had my nephews from Tennessee. So I had like 5 kids. It was me and 5 kids at this campground, and it was so much work. Oh my God, it was so much work. It was awful. And then one time, we almost exploded the entire campground. So, you know, we have a pretty nice travel trailer camper. But it doesn't have, because of the vehicle that we had at the time that we purchased it, we couldn't get one with slide outs, you know, that extend the width of it, because our vehicle didn't have the towing capacity for it. So we got one without slide outs. So it's kind of narrow. It's long, but it's narrow. And so we were all getting ready. We were doing summer camp for church. And I was like one of the coordinators. And so we all were getting ready in the morning to go to church camp. And you know, it's me and 5 kids trying to get ready in this camper and get on the road. So we lock up the camper, and we go to some summer camp all day, and we come home, and there's a whole gang of people all around our campsite, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? So I'm like, kids, you guys stay here. I get out of the car, I walk up, they're like, you got a problem, lady. Your carbon monoxide detector has been going off all day. We can't get in the camper. It's locked. We didn't want to break the lock, but we were about to call the fire department. So I unlocked it. I go in, and it smelled entirely like propane. Like the whole thing was just reeked of propane. what had happened was as we were sliding past one another, getting ready, one of us bumped the knob on the stove and turned the gas on. So the gas had been filling up the camper all day. And it was so scary. I mean, we could have been on the news for sure. For sure. Thank God we weren't there, but it would not have been good. Jeff would not have been happy. So now I'm always very, very careful to check those knobs. Equine can interbreed. Okay, so, and okay, thank you, Mindy. Some have happened naturally, creating new breeds, evolution. Well, duh, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Zebras and horses make zorses? I've never heard of a zorse. Yeah, Lisa, Mindy has to give me my earrings. We always forget. We always forget, but I'm sure she will get them to me. And yes, I will wear my earrings at the retreat for sure. For sure. I'm still a little bit salty. Last year, the retreat theme was what was the theme, Mindy? It was like beachy, like a beachy theme, like tiki bar theme. And so Mindy and I had been at Cracker Barrel, and they had these absolutely adorable flamingo shirts with sequins. And so we each got one, and we were going to wear them at the retreat. That dang zebra shirt is still sitting in my closet, and I've never worn it. Or not zebra, flamingo. That flamingo shirt's still sitting unworn in my closet. And I never wore, and they were not cheap. I think they were like $30. And we didn't ever get a chance to wear it. But of course, the problem with that was it was a thick shirt, and it was an unseasonably hot weekend last year. It was very, very, very hot during the retreat last year. And it was a 3/4 length sleeve shirt. And yeah, I think that's what happened, is it was just too darn hot to wear them. I love camping too, Jennifer, and yeah, I miss it. I miss it, miss it. Hey, Sue, how you doing? Um, have Nate bring a friend, Sean. The problem is, and I guess it's not a problem because I could monitor. The friend he would want to bring would probably be Sam, who is a girl. You remember last year when I let him go on that camping trip with her before I knew Sam was a girl? He kind of hornswoggled me on that. I suppose that I could, monitor it. They have a lake at the campground, and they have like it's called the Blob. It's like a floating. It's this big floating air-filled pad, and there's a ladder you climb up really tall. So one person sits on the end of this big pad, and another person jumps down off the top of the ladder, and when they hit the inflated pad, the person sitting on it flies up in the air and flies into the lake. And it's really fun. So they've got that, and then they've got some other water climby thing too in the lake. So that's fun. And they have putt-putt golf there. And it's just it's nothing special. It's just a man-made lake, and it's just a little podunk town, there's not a lot going on, but it's still, it's a nice getaway and relaxing and fun. So I hope we get a chance to do it. I hope we really get to do it. So what else is going on? I told you about the broken toe. That was just, that was so gross. And I touched it. I touched his bone. Yuck. You know what? I thought of something really inappropriate I could have said right there, but I'm not going to go there. We're going to keep this PG. Keep it PG. Oh, Lisa, they look like the Diamond Art emblem. That's cool. Oh, Sherry, your cat? Your cat turned on the stove and oh God. That's scary. That's so scary. That happened at a house party I was at with Maddie down in Detroit. Her one of Austin's friends, who was an older gentleman, he was actually older than me, but he was friends with Austin and his band friends, and he would let the kids, I say kids, but they're all in their 20s, have concerts at his house in his basement. So we were over there one time for one of these concerts, and all of a sudden, and everybody's, in and out of the house. There must have been like 50 people there. There were a lot of people in that little house. And I was like, I smell natural gas. Something's going on. And I went out and I sat there for a while because I was like, it's not my house, not really my place, but everybody was partying and nobody was really being responsible. So finally I was like, I better check into this. And I went over there and sure enough, the gas was on. Somebody was leaning against the stove and turned the gas on. Like, we could have all been a mile high. Or dead. Yes, Sue, I am going to diamond paint outside. I'll diamond paint right on the picnic table under the awning. We've got the camper has an awning, and then we've got a nice carpet that we put underneath the picnic table and put the picnic table right up next to the camper under the lights. I've got cute lights that go along the awning. I used to do it up really cute. In fact, we used to camp a lot in the fall, and there was a place near us that did Halloween camping, and they would have a site decorating contest. So you would decorate your campsite for Halloween, and then they would go around and judge it. And one year we won first place, which was awesome because we got a whole weekend of free camping for winning first place. And then the next year we won third place. But still, it was, it was pretty cool that we won because there were a lot. It was full. They completely book up and sell out on those Halloween weekends. And it's fun. They have hay rides and trick-or-treating and karaoke in the pavilion at night and a big community bonfire. And they also have a haunted forest. So you ride the hayride back to the haunted forest and then walk through the haunted forest. And it really was scary. I peed my pants one time. It was really scary. Nate was little then. He couldn't go in the haunted forest, but he loved to sing karaoke, man. He was like 3 or 4 years old and he was up there. He always wanted to sing Monster Mash, and they would let him too. He was so adorable. I wish I had that on video of him singing Monster Mash. It was so cute. I wish I could go back to those days and have my little teeny weeny baby again. But now he's a man. You guys, he's getting a mustache. Jeff needs to show him how to shave. I don't know how to show him how to shave, but he needs to get rid of that mustache. Like yesterday. It's got to go. And I really, really would like him to get a haircut before he starts high school. Nate has very long hair. It's probably down to his mid-back. And, I was all for him expressing his individuality and, being his own person, but he's just starting to look shaggy. He just needs I'd like to see him with a haircut. And of course, I was hoping that I could use Maddie's wedding as the reason for asking him to cut his hair, but now that's not going to happen, so I'll have to come up with a new reason. I could threaten to withhold his driver's training, but we all know that he's not on the ball with getting that rolling. He obviously doesn't care too much about that. But yeah, I think I can diamond paint outside. You know, as long as it's not too like windy or anything. One time we were there, we were at this campground camping, and a tornado came through. Not through the campground, but there was a tornado warning. And it got so windy. I thought that it was going, and we had to put down our awning and like put everything away. And we went inside the camper, and it was just like rocking. It was just shaking. It was so scary. It was horrible. It was really scary. Some people that weren't that like were gone for the day or whatever had left their awnings up, and there were several campers that their awnings just got ripped right off of their campers, which is really expensive to replace. That was a lot. And I think somebody like a big limb fell on somebody's camper. That was bad. That was bad. That was bad. We did this. We have our new camper. It's not new anymore, but it's newer than the old one we had. The first camper we had was a 1977 19-foot camper. And this was before Nate was born. So it was just me and Jeff and the girls. We towed that big, heavy, it wasn't big, but it was very heavy because, you know, in 1977 they didn't make the like, you know, lightweight metals and stuff like that. We towed it all the way up to the UP, all the way up to Tequamanon Falls, which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and a very, very long way to tow such an old camper. But we had so much fun in that thing. It's funny when, you know, now I look back on it and I think, oh my gosh, we did all that in that old thing. But at the time, it was just, we thought we were living the life because we had never had a camper before. We always tent camped. And that was our first camper. So we were like, woo, we got it made, man. We got a camper. And now that we have the big camper, looking back at that little 19-foot thing that all four of us used to fit in, it's kind of funny. Kind of like your first car, you know? Oh, yeah, Mindy, yes. I do remember that. The first year at the retreat, we had a tornado warning. I know everybody was... It was so funny because everybody was freaking out and going to the basement and everything. And I was just, me and Mindy and some other people like from the area, we're just sitting there diamond painting. And like, I'm not going in the basement. It's fine. It's just a storm. It'll pass. You know, we get those kind of warnings all the time. It'll be fine. But it was a little bit scary because that retreat venue, the one room, the whole wall was all windows. I don't know if the other room had as many windows, but the main room was all windows on there. But it was really cool watching that storm go through. That was a really neat location. I kind of really enjoyed that location. Not that I don't like the one that we're at now, don't get me wrong, but I did like the original, the one that the location of the very first retreat. It was kind of just set off in the woods, and it was just like a big house, you know. So you really got that feeling of you know, everybody being all together as a group, as opposed to, you know, having your own hotel room, which also has its benefits. Don't get me wrong. I kind of love having my own hotel room. Yes, Sue, I will take a small painting for sure. Yeah, definitely not going to take this. Oh, your granddaughter just got her driver's permit last week, Lisa. Oh, good luck with that. Is Grandma going to take her driving, or are you out of that? Do you dare? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Nate's new thing. Oh, listen to what Nate wants to do now. You know, Nate's been into forging. Him and his dad have been forging now for, it'll be 2 years in October that he got his forge for his birthday. And they've been making knives and axes, and now they want to get into making some custom handles for their knives. So they want to get a lathe. I am so excited about that. I am so excited because they're gonna get. Jeff wants to do some stuff with resin, um, and kind of do the pressurized where you put the resin. He wants to use pine cones, and but you have to pressurize it, I guess, to like solidify the pine cone. I don't know. He's done all kinds of research on it. I don't know. I'm just saying what he's told me. But if he gets a lathe, I might try my hand at, because you know I'm very particular about my pens. I might try my hand at trying to make myself a pen. Wouldn't that be cool? To make my very own pen? You were in Coeur d'Alene. Am I saying that right? Coeur d'Alene? During a very intense lightning thunderstorm right above us, the trailer would shake with the thunder. Yeah. Oh, Jennifer, you still tent camp? Man, my back couldn't do it anymore. I remember one time, this was so shitty too, and I still stand by this. We had some very good friends. They're still friends, but we're not as close as we used to be. They moved up. Their kids grew up. Their kids were our daughter's ages, and when their kids grew up, they sold their house and they moved up. They bought property up north, and they live in a little teeny cabin up north. And so we don't see them very often anymore. But we used to hang out with them every single weekend. Well, one year we decided we were going to go camping together, the two of us families. And we were going to camp on we were going to a rustic campground, which we really enjoy rustic campgrounds, because usually they're a lot more picturesque and, you know, a lot less crowded. So we decided we would get the same campsite, but they only allowed one camper per campsite. So if we were going to be on the same site, one of us families had to bring a tent and the other got to bring their camper. Well, in the past, we had only been the ones that had a camper. They didn't have a camper. So they always were the ones in tents. Well, this time they had gotten a camper. They had gotten a pop-up camper. And they wanted to bring their camper. And I was like, you know, and her justification was it was her turn. You know, we had always been the ones to have the camper. You know, they never had. Would it be okay if this time they brought their camper? Which I understood. I would have understood, except that I was very heavily pregnant this summer with Nate. Very heavily pregnant. And I just thought it was kind of shitty that she made me sleep in a tent on the ground while they slept in a camper. You know, I felt like, you know, maybe she could have been a little bit more considerate to my condition. Not that a pregnant person should get bowed down to or anything, but it was a very, very uncomfortable 2 nights, let me tell you. Oh, and because then one of our air mattresses leaked. It got a hole in it. And so we'd fill it up, and by the morning we're sleeping right on the ground. Oh, that was awful. Awful, awful. Have you seen the movie with Lucy and Ricky Ricardo called The Long Yellow Trailer? No, I haven't. I'm going to have to look that up. Yes, Mindy, sleeping arrangements were a little odd at the other retreat place. Hi, Marianne. Oh, I am working on The Three Graces by Josephine Wall from Diamond Painting Deutschland. Nice to see you. Lisa, yeah, I'd stay out of that one too, Lisa. She only calls you when she needs a new stash of yarn, and I just bought her like 6 months worth. Yeah, I remember you saying that. I told hubby next time he's got to have his own bed. I'm tired of almost rolling off when he gets in. I know air mattresses are crazy like that, aren't they? Yep. You just boom, 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 boom. I remember one time, oh, this was dangerous. Me and my danger stories today. This is another gas gas involved danger story of camping. I had this friend that I worked with, and um, she had this husband who was a terrible, terrible, terrible alcoholic. And we didn't like to hang out with them because it was just not pleasant to be around. But they invited us to go camping and canoeing, and it was October in Michigan, in northern Michigan. I don't know what in the hell made us ever say yes to this. But at that time, we didn't have a camper at all. Did we not have a camper? I don't think we did. I don't think we did. I think it was after this trip that Jeff went and bought the first camper. So they had a truck camper, you know, like the kind that goes on your pickup truck. And we go camping in October, and it was a beautiful day. We went canoeing, and the fall colors, you know, were out, and the trees were beautiful, and it was a nice warm day. I mean, we couldn't get in the water and swim or anything, but it was still nice and warm, and it was, you know, a nice evening sitting by the fire and listening to music and telling stories and just laughing and having a great old time. Well, then it comes time to go to bed, and Jeff and I go to bed in the tent, right? And we had our dog with us, Max. Max was a chocolate lab. She's not with us anymore, but we had her. She was our only dog at the time, and we brought her with us. And I could have done those. It was so cool. And Max and I did not get along very well. Max had selective hearing, and Max would only obey Jeff. If I could call that dog's name all day and it would not come to me, it would not listen to me, it would not do a thing I said, she only listened to Jeff. She was Jeff's dog. She was supposed to be the girls' dog, but she ended up being Jeff's dog. So I've got Jeff on the left side of me. I'm in the middle of this air mattress, and I've got this dog, and I'm like scooping the dog up off the tent floor and into the bed with me so I can snuggle between these two so I can try to get their body heat. I have never been so cold in all of my life. I've literally never been so cold. So finally, Jeff had brought a propane heater. Now, kids, don't do this at home. This is highly, highly not good. It was so cold that he brought that propane heater into the tent with us and turned it on while we slept, which is extremely dangerous. But it was either that or go sleep in the car. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I was about ready to go invade their pickup truck camper and sleep on their dining room table or something. Miriam, this is my second Diamond Painting Deutschland very large canvas that I've done that's double-sided adhesive, and I have had absolutely no problems with it. I am not gentle with my canvases. I move it all around because I have to empty off my table when I do unboxings and stuff. You know, I don't roll it, but I, you know, kind of scoop it up and fold it. I've never had a crease. I've never had a bubble. I've never had any problems whatsoever. It's actually a very nice canvas. I've never had a problem with either one of the canvases that I've worked on from them. In fact, I was just telling Sue earlier, I'm really excited. I want to order, there's a newer Josephine wall that they have that I saw, I don't know, probably about, I say newer, this I've had for a couple years. Um, Probably about 6 months ago I saw it. And so next month, after the retreat is over and I'm done spending money at the retreat, um, because there's going to be yarn there. There's going to be hand-dyed yarn, and I'm looking forward to picking up some of that. And there's going to be pens. I'm looking forward to getting a new pen or two so Kaden will stop bullying me. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to those things. But as soon as that's over in July, I'm going to order another one from Diamond Painting Deutschland. I absolutely love them. Love, love, love. They're one of my favorite companies. Oops, I need a refill. I just love the, and it's not so much even that Josephine Wall is one of my favorite artists or anything. I just really enjoy having so many colors. It's very, I don't know, it's like Sue was saying, earlier diamond paintings are like puzzles, except the pieces all stay together. It's true. They're like puzzles. And so it's like a more challenging puzzle because it has it has 250 colors to work with. And they're very fun. Very, very fun. Yep, I don't mind. A lot of people have bad feelings about double-sided adhesive, but I think that there's good double-sided adhesive canvases and bad ones. And I think this one is really good. And I don't think I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about them, about Diamond Painting Deutschland. I mean, personally, I'm sure there's somebody out there that has, but I don't know them. And I don't want to. You guys ever heard of, okay, you know how you get like stuff that comes up on your Facebook or whatever? Well, I get this, and I don't know where she originally posts that, if it's YouTube, if it's TikTok, if it's some other thing, social media that I don't use, but it pops up on my Facebook, and her name is Charlotte Dobre. She's Canadian. Have you guys ever heard of her? She is absolutely hilarious. She is so, so funny. So I wasted about 2 hours today when I couldn't take any more of my emotions watching This Is Us. I wasted about 2 hours just watching her silly, silly videos. She does a lot of like showing Karens, people who act foolish in public, and she does a lot of like Bridezilla type, telling stories of Bridezillas and people caught lying and stuff like that, just like social commentary. But she's very, very amusing. I like her. Dangerous things we've done. Cook pork chops while drunk with a propane torch in the morning. Check the bones. No, they were not fully cooked at all. Oh my God, Jody, that's disgusting. That is gross. And you ate them. Did you get sick? Or was it hard to tell whether you were sick from the pork chops or sick from the hangover? That would be funny. Yeah, camping is really kind of a dangerous pastime because usually there is drinking involved. And usually there's like water involved, like you're by a lake or a river or something. And there's open flames and, there's a lot going on when you're camping. There's a lot of danger. There's a lot of danger. We lost Nate once at a campground. He was about 3 or 4 years old. And he was playing with a little kid at the next campsite who was a little bit older. And the little kid at the next campsite had a wagon and a bicycle. And he hooked up his wagon to the back of his bicycle. And he wanted to take Nate for a ride. Okay, we're in a campground. And, Jeff and I were a little overprotective of him. but we were like, maybe he was like 5. He was probably 5. But we were like, what's the worst thing that could happen? We're standing right here. This kid's, you know, they're not going to go far, you know. What's the worst that could happen? So they take off on their little ride, and Jeff and I are talking to his parents, and, you know, it's been a few minutes, and we look, and we don't see them. And we walk around like the block that we were on, that our campsite was on, and there's no little kid in the bike, no wagon, no Nate. And now we're kind of freaking out because it's kind of starting to get dark out. And we're like, what the hell? The one time that we, you know, let him do something and we lose our kid. So Jeff gets in the truck and starts driving around the campground. They were way the heck over, way over in a totally different section of the campground. It was horrible. Yeah, Mindy, no, I won't order without you. And because Sue was saying she would wanna might want to order too. Berta, I can't see Mindy ever doing one of those. Oh, Mindy, you watched This Is Us? I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to pick your brain. I just started it. I'm still in the first season, and I had to stop because I was telling everybody earlier, I'm not an emotional person, but this thing has got me so up in my feelings. Like, I'm feeling all the feels, and I usually don't. I'm usually a cold-hearted witch. But yeah, it's kind of interesting because the time that they grew up is, you know, kind of they're a little bit younger than me, but they kind of grew up in my childhood. So like growing up in the 80s, you know, was kind of the era I grew up in. And so it's kind of neat. There was enough alcohol involved that it killed anything that could have hurt you. Yeah, thank God for that. Mindy, no. See, I can't, Berta, I kind of agree with you. I don't know. I don't know if Mindy would like it. I don't know. You know, the thing I think is, you know, these symbols are, there's a lot of symbols. There's just a lot. It does take some patience. Like, I can't do it if I'm feeling any kind of like I have to be very calm and relaxed if I want to come in here and sit down and work on it. Because if you have any kind of anxiety, or like if you're stressed out, or like you're in a hurry or whatever, it can get frustrating. The most frustrating thing for me is, I think, because I've taken it for a fact that I am going to miss several symbols on my first run through of a certain color. So like I used to get mad at myself and be like, oh, I just had that color out. There's more of them right here. How did I miss that? And then I'd be like, oh, again, how did I miss those? You know, and I would get so frustrated that I would miss so many. But now I just had to kind of give myself a little bit of grace and say, you know, Ange, you know you're going to have to go back with this color probably 5 more times. So just do the best you can on your first go around, and, you know, you'll pick up the ones you missed next time on the next go around with this color in this section. So it takes me, like this last section that I did right here had all the colors. It had blues, it had greens, it had yellows, it had oranges, it had browns, it had grays, all the colors in this section. So this section took me about 8 hours of work. So this section here is mostly blue and gray and brown. So it should go a little bit faster because there's not as, you know, it doesn't have quite as many colors in it, or quite as many different colors in it. But it still takes a while. It still takes a while. And I feel like I have a total, not that I ever didn't have respect for Sue, but I have a whole new respect for Sue and people like Sue who only single place. Because it takes, there's really no opportunity for multi-placing. It's very, very confetti heavy. So, and Sue always single places. She doesn't ever multi-place. So I feel like I have a newfound respect for people like Sue who don't ever multi-place, because it definitely takes a lot longer to single place everything. I don't know. I think Mindy would like it. Oh, see, I didn't know This Is Us was ended. I didn't know that. Who had to put all the drills back in order? Yeah, I know. I'm a loser. I'm a loser. Joe, you're a single placer too? And Paula? Wow. You guys are like, you guys have all my respect. You have all of my respect. But you know, what I have found is that single placing actually looks a lot nicer than when you multi-place. I feel like, because when you're multi-placing, it seems like you have like lines or something. When you're single placing, you can get them more even. And then of course, poor Mindy, I don't know if I had had too much wine or what, but the last time I gave her the painting back, the Big Dreamer design that we're working on together, she found, I don't know, how many drills did you say that I was missing, Mindy? I think she said like 45 drills that I had missed because I was multi-placing and they were like squinched I didn't notice that it was a space, but it was a space. Yeah. That's one other thing that I love about the Diamond Painting Deutschland is I've never had a problem with popping drills, but there definitely is no gap. There's no gap at all. They fit absolutely perfectly. And I have yet to find junk drills. No, I've yet to find any junk drills. They have very nice drills. I know, I'm always touting how much I like their stuff. I should be getting paid for advertising for them. I know, I was really bummed. Some months ago, they announced that they were no longer going to ship to the US because shipping was so expensive. Now, they did reverse that and they are now shipping to the US, but I was so bummed when I found that out. Super bummed. So, yep, I'm looking forward to getting another one. But I will finish this one before I start the new one. I promise. You guys can mark my words. You can hold me to that one. If I get the new one, I will not start it until I finish this one. I promise. I'll want to, but I won't. Sue, you single place most of the time too? Oh, Margaret too. Margaret doesn't ever multi-place. Wow. A bunch. Mindy says a bunch. Paula, you use tweez? I can't even. I have tried. I don't have any tweezers. I thought I had a pair of tweezers sitting here. I was going to try in front of you guys. But I have tried to use tweezers. And I don't know if it's because my hands are a little bit shaky or what. Or if I think what it is I pinch too hard. I pinch too hard and they go flying. Yeah, I can't do the tweezers. I just absolutely cannot do the tweezers. Once you get into you know, once you get into a rhythm though, it's not too bad. It does take longer, definitely takes longer, but it's not too bad. Now, if I had an area that was like complete color blocking, I don't think that I could sit there and single place the whole thing. I think I'm just too impatient. Like, but that being said, I don't go crazy with my multi-placing. I'll only use a 4-placer. That's the only multi-placer I use is a 4. I never go any bigger than that. I can't. It doesn't, I don't get them straight or something. I only use a 4-placer. That's all I feel comfortable with. I'm not a superstar. Sherry knows me. Oh, Jody, I do have some storage. I do have some empty storage. It was on sale. I got some last month. I got some new storage for just in case that special thing comes along that I have to start. I know what it was. I know why I ordered it. I ordered it for Supernova, that big colorful Dreamer Designs that I got. I wanted to start that one right away. And I was just telling Sue earlier, was it Sue or was it Mindy I was talking to? I don't remember. But I was saying I was so excited for that one, and I kitted it up right away. I got storage, and I kitted it up right away. And it's sitting out in the front room by my chair, and I just don't have any inclination to work on that for some reason. And I was so excited about it. It's weird. It's not like me. I don't usually do that. I'm sure the inspiration will strike me. I think that that's the diamond painting I'm going to bring to the retreat, though. So hopefully I'll get some time to get some work done on it there. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I don't know what I'll get done at the retreat. I do too much working with my gums and my jaws. Oh, Joe, yes, no Christmas craft gifts. I promise you there will be no Christmas craft gifts. Not going to do it this year. And I told Jeff too. And so, you know what he said? He thinks that he's going to make knives for everybody. He's going to make everybody a kitchen knife. I got to refill my color here. I need 3750. And somehow these all got out. I had these nice and in order, and they all got out of order. That's one thing that these small containers, they don't hold much, but with a lot of colors like this, they're very handy to have around. And I just keep my spares over here to the side, and it is fine. It works just fine. Sue, you're funny. Yeah, Andrea's gonna start it. Mindy can't tweeze drills or eyebrows. Yeah, I'm not so good at tweezing eyebrows either. I remember one time I went to get my eyebrows waxed, and I went to a new person to get my eyebrows waxed. And that was a bad mistake. So I came to work the next day. This was when I worked at City Hall still. This was before I went to the police department. And I went to work the next day, and my friend Susie, who worked in the attorney's office, came down, and I was telling her, oh my gosh, my eyebrows are so bad. I'm so embarrassed. I don't even know what to do. They're so bad. And this was back in the 90s when like thin eyebrows, were the thing, like really thin eyebrows. And she came in, she opened the door, and she looked at me. She opened my office door, and she looked at me, and she goes, oh, they're fine. You just look really, really surprised. So they were arched so high that I looked like I was in a constant state of surprise. It was bad. It was bad, and it took forever for them to grow back in. I looked surprised for a very long time. Oh, you got DAC's new 6-placer. I saw somebody posting on Facebook. about DAC's new multi-placers, that they're thinner than previously. I didn't know that they were changing them or that they had changed them. I don't care for metal multi-placers. I just can't get used to them. I'm a creature of habit, just like with this darn pen. I'm a creature of habit in these stupid white boats. When I get something that I am comfortable with, it's really hard for me to adapt to something new. I think to an extent we're all like that. Like, I never rearrange my furniture, ever. A lot of people do that, though. But no, I like my furniture to stay the same. Margaret's off to bed. Oh, surgery Monday morning. Prayers for you, Margaret. Deborah, you have more patience than me. I'm not good at keeping them straight when I'm multi-placing. Oh, Angie said you just have to get in a rhythm. Oh, Sue, you haven't diamond painted in months, but kitted one up tonight. Cool. Oh, Mindy's got to go put the ducks away. Sean's trying to decide if I'm going to bring any paintings. I only laid 50 drills last week. Right? Exactly. Exactly. You don't get much done. It seems like, you know, every time you sit down to do it, there's another activity, or you want to chit chat with someone, or it's time to eat, or, you know, there's just always something going on. Always something going on. And then I tend to get sidetracked and I want to work on, you know, 50 million different projects. So I'll bring cross stitch with me, and I'll bring embroidery with me, and I'll bring a miniature with me, and I bring all the things just in case, you know, I feel like working on something different, just in case. Marianne, what order do you have the drills kitted up? So here's what I did, Marianne. Thank you for asking. So I was very mindful when I arranged my drills. So I have like symbols next to each other. Like this one is all the hands. All the different hands are together. And the hands are next to the feet. And the feet are next to the people. And then, like, all my blues are over here in one container. All my alphabet and numbers and arrows are here. All my electronic type drills are here. It just what made sense to me, you know, and it probably wouldn't make sense to the next person. But I just went through and I looked at the sheet because it comes with a really nice, it comes with a sheet. I went through and I looked at the sheet and I tried to decide what, you know, what goes together in my melon, in my little brain. DAC has a new box, Joe? I didn't know that. Ooh, Sean got the 3 that I would have gotten. Yeah. That's the 3 I would have gotten too, Sean. The Chuck, the Beachcomber, and the Ennis. Yep. Yep, definitely. But I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be good because, like I said, I've got a lot of stuff that I want to get at the retreat, and trying to want to save up for that. Want to save up so I can have a little shopping spree there. It's so fun because I was telling Mindy I really would like to get some sparklers this year, but I like to. I'm not good at ordering them. I want to see them. I want to see them. I'd rather see them in person. They're very thin diamond heart. That's cool. I might check those out. The rainbow kind of creeps you out on the newest Chuck. You know what, Deborah? I don't care for the rainbow on Country Blessings either. I'm gonna find. I swear, when I get to it, I'm gonna find a way to eliminate that rainbow. It's just not my favorite. I don't care for it. I don't know why. I just don't like it there. Oh, Marianne agrees. See? Yeah, I'm just gonna put blue drills in and make it, you know, sky colored where the rainbow is. I've never done anything like that before. I'm usually a rule follower. At least in diamond painting, I'm a rule follower. Not so much with crochet. With crochet, I kind of do my own thing. And, you know, I don't follow the rules. I don't always follow the instructions. But with diamond painting, I always follow the rules. That's why I'm not good with, like, getting sparklers and stuff. I do way better. Yeah. Yup. Sue wants the beachcomber. We talked about that. The beachcomber is so pretty. It's very pretty. It looks just like Lake Superior. Like, that's what Lake Superior looks like in Michigan, with all the agates and rocks and stuff. I can't find the symbol I'm looking for, and I know it's jumping right out at me in my face, and I can't find it. Well, I could just pick a different one. Let's just pick a different one. Let's see. What do I want to do? What is there a lot of? Oh, we'll do that one. This is a very blue section that I'm doing right now. Lots of blues. Lots and lots of blues. So Sean got 3 today. Did anybody, Joe, did you get anything today? Did anybody else get anything today? I didn't get anything. I know Sue didn't get anything. I talked to her. I know Mindy probably got the Chuck. I'm sure, in fact, I'm sure of it. Yeah, Sue, I didn't buy any from the 40 they had for their anniversary either. Paula says, I like laying the drills diagonally every other row and then fill in. So, wow, that must take a lot of time, Paula. Diagonally every other row and then fill in. That must take a lot of time to do it that way. So, when you're working with a color, do you just only go along that row and do that color, or will you do like a section of it? Or just that diagonal row? I don't, you know what, I have no rhyme or reason for the order in which I choose my colors. I usually, when I'm starting a new section, I kind of start in the bottom right and kind of just work my way up. But usually I do like whatever color jumps out the most, you know, and then I just willy-nilly it from there. Joe, you're a rule follower too? Yeah, I'm definitely a rule follower. That's why I have a hard time like with sparklers and embellishing my canvases and doing anything like that. I feel like, you know, it was laid out this way. This is the way I'm supposed to do it. It says this color goes here. So I'm going to put this color here. Even like, I know some people have like changed eye color and stuff on canvases. I don't even do that. I'm like, no. That's what color her eyes are supposed to be, so that's what color I'll make them. Marianne, you always tweak on your diamond paintings? That's awesome. See, and I feel like that's like a gift, right? To be able to um, see what you want to see instead of seeing what's there. I don't, I just don't have that. I don't have that creative ability. Just totally lack that. Either that, or I'm just too much of a rule follower. Sean eliminated an entire steeple because I didn't like how it looked. Wasn't perfect, but it worked. Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool. You did the checkerboard for a whole Fuji Flora? Wow. I have never ever attempted to do checkerboarding. I've never even attempted it. It doesn't even sound like fun to me. I was looking at you know, Crafts and Coffee with Chris and Cal. Cal posted that she was doing, there's the painting she's doing right now, which I think is a Hannah Lynn. She did, it has a lot of black border. You know, Hannah Lynn's usually do have a lot of black edging borders. She did all the black on the whole canvas. She did all the outlines, black outlines she did first before anything. I was like, wow, that's an interesting way to do it. I would have never thought to do that. Everybody's got their... Then I think back to the good old days when all I did was 30 by 40s. And you know, you could do that. You'd open up, this was before, if you can imagine this is right when I first started diamond painting, before I had any storage containers, and I just used baggies, and I didn't have very many baggies. So I would open a bag of a color and do the entire canvas, you know, of that color, because I didn't have anything to store them in. That was my second purchase after I started diamond painting. I bought a whole big thing of baggies because that got old pretty fast, not having anything to put them in. Okay, color blocking diagonally. That makes sense. Yeah, Joe, I'm with you. I kind of feel pressure about the blinging thing. I kind of feel pressure about it. Like I should try it, but I really don't. Yeah, I don't have. I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it. Oh, ducks are in. Good. Yes, I'm still here. Oh my gosh, it's late. Holy crap! It's 10:30. It's almost 10:30. I did Crazy Cat Lady and changed all the cats to look like my cats present and past. Added others. It was a labor of love. That is awesome that you can do that. That's just, yeah, that's amazing. That's really cool. I wish I could do that. But I see what's there and I like what they did. I think there's a reason for this. I'm just going to go with it. One time, no, I did one time, there was a painting that had like a whole dark area, and then there was like one light colored drill, like stupidly in the middle of this big dark area, and it looked really out of place. And I even like checked it to make sure that I didn't place, you know, place the wrong drill there accidentally. And I hadn't. That was what it was charted to be, but it just didn't look right. So I did. So that was one time that I changed something, and it was one drill. One drill. Wow, I didn't know, Jody, I didn't know you were so creative too. Mindy's a minimal blinger. I've seen you do some blinging, Mindy. I don't know. You did that one with those, it was a craftably. I don't remember. It was this winter, I think. Or was it fall? I don't know. I remember I was at your house and I saw it and you were showing me. It was really pretty. It was very pretty. Well, I've got to get up early in the morning because Jeff's got to brush my hair. And so I should probably let you guys go. I've been yakking at you forever. I didn't even realize how late it had gotten because I was so busy yakking my head off. But thanks you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I had a great time. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend and a super good week. And I will see you guys all next weekend. If you don't hear from me before, you might hear from me before that. You never know with me. You just never know. I might be around. We'll just leave it at that. All right, you guys. I'll talk to you later. Good night, everyone.